Every lost civilization explained in 10 minutes. Across deserts, jungles, and ocean floors lie the remains of civilizations that once ruled their worlds, now reduced to dust, ruins, and legend. Their cities were grand, their science ahead of their time, yet all vanished. What they left behind is the greatest mystery of human history. The Indus Valley Civilization. 4,000 years ago, along the Indus River in modern-day Pakistan and India, thrived one of humanity's first urban cultures. The Indus Valley Civilization built cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, with brick-paved streets, underground drainage, and grid layouts centuries before Rome. Yet no one knows their rulers, their wars, or even their language. Their script remains undeciphered. Around 1900 BCE, the cities were abandoned. Some blamed drought, others shifting rivers or invasion. Whatever the cause, one of the world's earliest advanced societies disappeared without leaving a single named king. The Minoans. Long before Athens or Sparta, the island of Crete was home to the Minoans, a maritime people who dominated the Aegean from 2000 to 1450 BCE. Their palaces, especially Knossos, shimmered with frescoes of dancers, bulls, and gods. They invented one of the first written scripts in Europe, known as Linear A, still undeciphered today. Then came disaster. Around 1450 BCE, the Minoan cities burned, possibly from invasion by Mycenaean Greeks, or the eruption of Thera, one of the largest volcanic explosions in history. The blast sent tsunamis across the Mediterranean and may have inspired the legend of Atlantis, the Hittites. From their capital at Hattusa in modern Turkey, the Hittites built an empire that rivaled Egypt around 1600 BCE. They pioneered iron smelting and recorded one of the world's first peace treaties, with Pharaoh Ramses II. Yet within 2 centuries, their cities were empty. Scholars blame the mysterious sea peoples, drought, or internal collapse. The Hittite language, carved into stone tablets, vanished until rediscovered in the 20th century, proving how even mighty empires can fade into silence. The Olmecs. Before the Maya or Aztecs, there were the Olmecs, the mother culture of Mesoamerica. Rising around 1200 BCE in the Gulf Coast jungles of Mexico, they carved colossal stone heads weighing up to 40 tons, each a portrait of a forgotten ruler. They invented writing, calendars, and ritual games that later civilizations adopted. Then, around 400 BCE, their cities emptied. No records tell why. Drought, warfare, or volcanic shifts. The jungle reclaimed everything, yet their influence lived on in the cultures that followed. The ghost foundation of Central America's later empires. The Nabateans. Hidden in the cliffs of modern Jordan, the Nabateans carved their capital, Petra, directly into red stone. They controlled the incense trade routes, linking Arabia, Egypt, and Rome, becoming immensely wealthy. Their engineering was legendary: aqueducts, dams, and water channels turning desert into oasis. But when trade routes shifted and Rome absorbed their kingdom in the 2nd century CE, their culture faded. By the Middle Ages, Petra was forgotten by the world, remembered only in Bedouin legend until rediscovered by explorers in the 1800s. A civilization literally carved into silence. The Khmer Empire. At its height in the 12th century, the Khmer Empire ruled much of Southeast Asia from its glittering capital, Angkor. Its temples, like Angkor Wat and Bayon, displayed cosmic perfection aligned with the stars. But in the 1400s, Angkor fell. Droughts weakened its complex water systems, and invading armies from Ayutthaya finished the collapse. The jungle swallowed its towers until rediscovered by French explorers centuries later. Angkor's fall shows how even divine architecture cannot survive environmental ruin. The Maya civilization. Between 250 and 900 CE, the Maya built hundreds of cities across Central America, filled with pyramids, observatories, and ball courts. They charted the stars with astonishing precision and invented a written language of intricate glyphs. Then, in the 9th century, the great cities of the southern lowlands were abandoned. Theories range from drought and warfare to overfarming. Northern cities like Chichen Itza survived longer, but the classic Maya world never recovered. Their descendants still live across Guatemala and Mexico, proof that the people endured, even if the civilization did not. The Aksumite Empire. In what is now Ethiopia, the Aksumite Empire rose as a trading power between Africa, Arabia, and India. By the 4th century CE, it minted its own coins, built towering obelisks, and adopted Christianity before much of Europe. But as climate shifts dried the Red Sea routes, Aksum declined. Its ports silted, its trade vanished, and by the 10th century it was gone. Some legends claim Aksum's priests still guard the Ark of the Covenant, tying a vanished kingdom to one of faith's greatest mysteries. The ancestral Puebloans. In the deserts of the American Southwest, the ancestral Puebloans, once called the Anasazi, built vast stone cities like Mesa Verde and Chaco Canyon. They aligned their structures to solstices and stars, creating monumental architecture out of desert cliffs. By the late 1200s, they vanished. Prolonged drought and internal conflict likely forced migration southward, giving rise to modern Pueblo peoples. Their empty dwellings remained like fossils of a people who lived in harmony with the land, until the land turned against them. The Sumerians. The Sumerians of ancient Mesopotamia, emerging around 4000 BCE, were the world's first known urban civilization. They invented writing, law, and monumental architecture, the ziggurat. Cities like Uruk and Ur created the template for all that followed. But millennia of warfare, shifting rivers, and salinized soil eroded their power. By 2000 BCE, Sumer was absorbed into rising empires like Babylon. Their gods, language, and myths faded, though echoes survive in the stories of the Bible and the Epic of Gilgamesh. The Caral civilization. Along Peru's desert coast, archaeologists uncovered Caral, a 5,000-year-old city older than the Egyptian pyramids. Its massive pyramids and plazas reveal a society built on trade and music rather than war. Yet after a millennium, Caral was abandoned, perhaps due to climate collapse. Forgotten for millennia, it resurfaced only in the 1990s, rewriting South America's ancient history and proving that civilization arose independently across the world. The Easter Island civilization. Far out in the Pacific, the people of Rapa Nui carved the massive Moai statues, hundreds of them, each weighing up to 80 tons. These statues represented ancestral spirits meant to protect the island. But by the 17th century, the society collapsed. Deforestation, resource exhaustion, and internal strife shattered it. When Europeans arrived in 1722, the island was nearly barren. The Moai remained, giant stone witnesses to ecological downfall and human resilience. The Göbekli Tepe builders. In southeastern Turkey lies Göbekli Tepe, the world's oldest known temple, dating to 9600 BCE, long before agriculture. Massive stone pillars carved with animals were erected by hunter-gatherers, then deliberately buried. Who built it and why they covered it up remains unknown. Göbekli Tepe challenges our entire understanding of civilization, suggesting religion, not farming, may have been humanity's first great organizing force. The conclusion. Civilizations do not simply die. They dissolve, evolve, or get buried beneath their own greatness. Droughts, wars, plagues, and pride all play their part. Yet in every ruin lies a mirror. showing that progress is fragile and memory is mortal. From the lost cities of the Indus to the temples of Göbekli Tepe, humanity has risen and fallen countless times. What we call lost may only be sleeping, waiting for the next explorer, the next archaeologist, or the next believer to bring it back to light.